Guys, today I am going to show you one of the craziest charts that I've seen in crypto. So this chart actually shows us exactly not only when approximately, it shows us the exact date when Bitcoin is going to peak out. So today I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to tell you when the bear market actually starts. Are we in a bear market right now? When are we going to see the next leg up for Bitcoin, guys? You will want to stick around from the beginning until the end of this video. I will talk about altcoins. I will talk about traditional markets. I will talk about everything you need to know. So welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. Let's get straight into it, guys. So on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, nothing really very interesting has been happening here. I mean, we are still above the yellow dotted line. We have been going sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row here. Yes, we've been having some small volatility, but overall, not a lot has happened. Actually, one thing that I am seeing right now is a potential inverse head and shoulders here. So look at this. A little bit of a shoulder, you have the head, and then you have the head and shoulders here. So, or the inverse head and shoulders. So what we need to see here is, and this is lining up, guys, if we break through the neckline here, which is currently at about 85,700, this typically leads into a nice pop towards the upside. Next level of resistance, 94,672 on my orange lines. However, before then, we have 87,500, and then we have $90,000 as well. So these are the previous swing highs, which we need to break to kind of break the downwards trend as well. If we look at the moving averages, we can see also we have the 200-day moving average at call it $88,000. So these are the levels that I'm watching very closely at the moment. So let's see how this is going to unfold. But yeah, in today's video, there is a big chart I need to show you. First, we're gonna quickly mention the altcoins here. We can see that Ethereum really hasn't done anything in particular, still going sideways, still the resistance at 1,657. Solana is trying to break through the $135 level here. So let's see if it's gonna be able to do that. For Doge, you can see that we're close to my support level. You can see that for Cardano, we are at 60 cents. You can see that for XRP, we are also, well, Cardano is right on my support. Cardano is approaching it. And for traditional markets, you can see that we're seeing a little bit of a bounce here, but we saw a red day yesterday. In fact, yesterday was a terrible day for the markets. $1.5 trillion was wiped out of the US stock market. So yes, the stock market did not have a good day yesterday, but seen a little bit of a bounce here. But there is one key thing I need to mention here in regards to the stock market. And I will talk you through that before I show you the crazy chart. So the S&P 500 actually bumped up by 100 points yesterday on a report that China are being open to talks with President Trump. What was the source? A person familiar with Chinese government thinking. So not really a very reliable source here, but yeah, the market, it just shows us that the market really is just waiting for that positive news. They're waiting for that kind of signal for them to allocate money, and we jumped up by 1% immediately just with these small rumors who started, and this was not even a significant rumor. So imagine what happens if they actually come out and say that they have reached a deal or something like this. Then we are going to resume, probably the markets are going to continue towards the upside. So I'm very excited for that, guys. And traditional markets, of course, volatility is going to happen, but things are looking pretty decent to me. Now, if we look at the US 10-year Treasury yield, we are seeing the yields is having a little bit of a bump right now. We're starting to, we had a downtrend the last 3 days or 4 days where we went down, but still, this is pretty healthy. Also, the US 30-year yield has been going down, so this is good. It signals that the market does not really panic at this point. So we will see. Let's see if we are going to just have a little bump here. Maybe we go sideways a little bit and then we will see. But in my opinion, things are looking pretty decent. Okay, so let us now talk about the crazy chart. So first off, you know that I've been saying always that I believe that the peak of the market is not going to be early in 2025, like most people believed, but I believe that the peak is going to be in 2026. Now, there is another chart I need to show you, and that is this one. So this was posted originally by Trading Shot. In fact, I'm going to show you it like this. And what do we have here? Well, we have the Bitcoin price, of course. And we have the bear cycle, and this goes back more than 10 years, guys. So this is, I mean, very, very long time frame. Now, the bottom for Bitcoin was right here at $164. You can see here in 2014, 2015. It was actually winter of 2014 going into 2015. We saw that bottom, and then from that bottom, when did we see the peak for Bitcoin? Well, on the weekly time frame, we had exactly 152 weeks, which is 1,064 days. So you can see that the peak happened here in December of 2017 when we went up to $20,000. Okay, then we start to go down again. And once again, we formed the bottom. The bottom happened here in December of 2018. So again, the winter between 2018 moving into 2019. And then when did we see the peak of the market? This was the start of the bull market. And then we saw the peak exactly, once again, 152 weeks later, 1,064 days. On the exact day, we saw the peak again. So this cannot be a coincidence, guys, that we see the exact same thing happen from the bottom to the top, exactly the same amount of days. Absolutely insane. But it gets even more interesting. So if you look at the previous bottom here in 2014, it took exactly 1,435 days or 205 weeks for us to reach the bottom thereafter. So this was the bottom of the first cycle. This was the bottom of the second cycle. It took exactly 1,435 days. Now, if you look at the bottom that we saw from the cycle thereafter, so you can see the bottom here in 2018, it actually also coincided exactly 1,435 days until the bottom for this previous cycle when we saw it in November of 2022. This was the same day during the FTX crash, I am pretty sure. So, I mean, the coincidence here is absolutely crazy that we have a bottom, exactly 1,064 days, we have the peak. And then we have another bottom, exactly 1,064 days, you have the peak. And then from bottom to bottom, you have, once again, exactly 1,435, exactly 1,435 as well between these two bottoms right here. So this bottom and this bottom and this bottom and this bottom. Now, of course, using this data, we need to understand where is the peak of the cycle going to be if this pattern holds true. Well, that is going to mean if we take the bottom here at 2022 and we take another 1,435 days, that means that the peak of the market is going to be somewhere towards the end of 2025, but like October of 2025, exactly the day 13th of October 2025 approximately. And that also means if we're going to have a bottom to bottom pattern, that the bottom of the next cycle is going to be in September of 2026. Now, does this align very well with my thesis that I believe that we're going to have a peak here in 2026? Well, this of course suggests that it's going to be a little bit early. It's going to be at the end of 2025 potentially. I can stretch as far as that. I think that it's completely fine, but I actually think that this cycle is not going to be exactly 1,435 days. I think it's going to be a little bit longer. So maybe like January 2026, or maybe December 2025 for it to hold true here, where we have the peak essentially towards the end of the year, which we have seen also in the past here. But this is an absolutely mind-blowing chart, guys. But this also strengthens my thesis that I've had for multiple years here, that we're gonna see the peak in 2026 and not at the beginning of 2025, which leads me into my trading strategy. So my trading strategies up until that point are of course going to continue to trade here. I am still doing pretty well here with the volatility. I'm making more profit. I want to show you this. So I opened this second Bitcoin strategy at 85,780. Right now we are at 84,600. So of course we have gone down, which means that this bot has also on the position itself has been going down. If I just entered into a trade here at 8,000 or 85,780, I would have been down tremendously, but because instead I entered into a trading strategy like this, I've been making $14,000, almost $15,000 in profit, which equals out the losses here that I have made. And that means that in general, I am at great profit. So we will just continue, no matter how long it takes, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. With time, we make more and more profit here. Of course, my short strategies are also making insane profits. And come the end of the cycle, we are going to greatly outperform the rest of the traders here. So that's amazing. If you want to use my trading strategies yourself, by the way, make sure to go to the description of this video. Sign up to Pionex using this link right here. Claim the deposit bonuses using this link. And then you can copy my long strategies. And you can also, if you want to go short, you can copy short strategies right here. But you're able to get in at much lower prices now compared to a few weeks ago. So that's amazing. If you want to use it for over 180 other altcoins, click on this link right here. And also insane deposit bonuses over on L-Bank right now. So make sure to go to the link at the top of the description. You get up to $13,000 in cashback, which is withdrawable, guys. You can withdraw this money, so you just need to be eligible for them. You have all of the details right here, and you're able to earn insane amounts of money. We already went through how the traditional markets are just waiting for the possibility to start investing again. They're waiting for the pivot. Also, what I want to show you is that Jerome Powell had a conference yesterday, and he said that he will not intervene if the stock market plummets. I mean, that's fine, but I am pretty sure, if the economy does worse and if the yields start to go up again, he will have to intervene. Or even if the yields go down here, we'll also have to intervene. So we will see, guys. There's going to be some kind of intervention from the Fed for sure in the next 6 months. So we will see about that. Also, there's more tariffs on China. But the headlines, they're not really affecting the price that much compared to a few weeks ago. So that is great to see. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.